Nvidia stock was down today, and some reports are coming out that there might be some overheating issues. Now, too long don't watch. I'm going to say these issues, in my opinion, are a nothing burger, but I am going to do a little bit more of an in-depth throughout the episode and take a closer look at some other news impacting Nvidia, like we did see a nice price target upgrade as well. So if this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, as this is going to be the best place you're going to find any semiconductor and AI news in general. Check out the pinned comment for special offer at fool.com/Jose. And if you want daily free semiconductor newsletter, check out whatthechip.happened.com. The link is down below.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so let's start off with Nvidia. Right now, the stock is sitting at $132. Today, we even got into the 130s. Right now, the stock after hours is down a little bit. And we are going to see from this article right now, Nvidia stock hits sell zone on power chip overheating issues. Now, I believe that Nvidia stock is going to be very volatile, but the long term is very much intact. I want to say for one of the worst things about Nvidia is that it has become so popular and everybody's trying to understand everything about Nvidia, that it's under this microscope. And when there's certain issues that aren't necessarily issues, in my opinion, everybody goes out there crying and kind of making some form of bearish thesis for the stock. And I think that's exactly what's happening today. So there was an analyst that said that the AI chip maker is experiencing severe thermal issues with some power chips used in its latest server systems for artificial intelligence. So a few things to unpack there. First, this is not their NVIDIA's chip, right? When you kind of get like a motherboard, if you are into the PC space, if you have a motherboard, within that motherboard, you can kind of put your CPU and your GPU. But the motherboard has a lot of power chips that help kind of transfer the power all over. One of those power chips, which are neither made by NVIDIA or whoever designs the CPUs in general, is kind of having an issues based on this analyst. Now, the company that creates this chip is actually Alpha and Omega. Now, NVIDIA is testing those chips with its Blackwell series GB300 and B300 system. For those that are not familiar, the B300 is kind of the Blackwell Ultra, so that's not really expected to come out maybe until many months from now. So right now, we're just kind of seeing the production of the Blackwell and the GB200 and the B200 and B100 systems. So this is still going to last for numerous quarters. Then after that, we're going to get into the Blackwell Ultra, which is going to be like the B300. So what I believe is happening is something that happens within the engineering world. Whenever you're testing something out, you're going to get problems with certain chips and you're going to need to change out. And this is kind of like the verification process. Normally, I want to say, I wouldn't be surprised if something like this has happened before. But because NVIDIA wasn't under this telescope or microscope, it kind of was unseen. But I think now that NVIDIA is kind of like the number one company and everybody wants to jump into this amazing player, they have to find a reason to why this company can go down dramatically. So I think if you are in the server space, this is probably something that happens very common. But like I mentioned, this is usually a nothing burger because it's usually for a product that's expected to be released many quarters from now. And it's also something that, because a power chip can be replaced by other players out there, it's not something that can deteriorate or destroy the overall supply chain market. So, I mean, there are other solutions as well. There are reports that NVIDIA is also testing the chips from MPWR, which is another kind of power solution that uses voltage regulators that powers processors, motherboards, and other electronics. So if this is one of the reasons the stock price is down and kind of creating fears for investors, I would say this is a complete nothing burger. Now, AOSL, Alpha and Omega, this is a company we've covered a few months ago. We did a kind of a deep dive on this company. Not one that I personally am invested in, but we can see with the market cap of $1.25 billion, investors are pretty excited that as we are seeing a growth in AI servers, they can definitely get some form of market share. Now, the other player here that they discuss is MPWR, Monolithic Power Systems, which again provides power chips. Now, we can see the company actually is down roughly 32% from its year-to-date high. The main reason is earlier in November, we heard reports, and that's when this earlier in November and late October, that some of the chips that were being used by here were kind of creating some issues for a big customer of them, NVIDIA, and NVIDIA was going to be looking at other partners. So again, this is something that happens. There's numerous players here in the power system market. So again, I just want to reiterate, as an NVIDIA stock investor, these rumors are not something that I would worry about as a long-term investor, but because the stock is under a microscope right now, any little news is something that everybody wants to go out running because they want to say, hey, look, this is the reason this stock is going to fail. This is the reason why this company is going to fail. And right now, I don't have any worries for the stock. Now, the second topic I want to discuss is we did see reports that, where to have it, Truist Securities adjust their price target on NVIDIA to 204 from 169 and keeps a buy rating. Now, obviously, this is very bullish for the stock, as the stock right now is sitting at $132. I don't know why. While NVIDIA stock can go a little bit, can go lower, right? A stock market can give us plenty and plenty of volatility in each direction. I don't know, but I have this feeling, and I'm not buying out of it. I'm not buying off a feeling. NVIDIA is already my number one position, but I believe this stock is kind of just leveling out before it does its next leg up, especially after this upcoming quarter when they're going to show some numbers of Blackwell, and they're going to continue to discuss the demand of their AI chips. Now, the reason Truist did increase their price target is because they believe NVIDIA is going to enter into the CPU market, and they are going to announce it during CES. Now, this is funny because yesterday or 2 days ago, I did an episode and I mentioned that CES is usually a nothing burger event if they just release GPUs, because we are already expecting NVIDIA to release the RTX 5090, maybe the 5080, and maybe the 5070. The only way that I think CES would be a big move for the stock price for NVIDIA is if they release the CPU product. And I think that would be great. It would definitely be a huge changer in the, I want to say, in the typical PC market. I think NVIDIA will be targeting high tier, high valuable laptops if they do enter, and kind of focus on content creators. So if NVIDIA does come out with the CPU, I think I would be one of the first players to end up buying a laptop or a PC based on it, just because I'm pretty sure it's going to have plenty of accelerated computing on things like video editing, on things like video streaming, and give me plenty of power that I need to continue to grow my content creation empire. So if they do announce that, that can be a huge market opportunity. Truist believes it's more of a $35 billion in new total addressable market, which is overall bullish. Now, there were also rumors or screenshots or leaks about NVIDIA's RTX 5090. Now, the 5090 is showing that it will have 32 gigs of RAM. Now, the reason I am talking about that is because Micron Technology is reporting earnings on Wednesday. And if this is true, the demand for memory in all these AI chips, even in consumer chips like this, like the GPUs, in the phone system and everything else, is going to continue to grow. And I believe that is going to be very, very bullish for the memory market. So Micron up another 5%, as I believe investors are getting pretty excited about earnings. I actually wouldn't be too shocked if the stock does a nice run up before earnings date. And after earnings, if they report strong numbers on HBM, might actually do pretty strong as well. So those are the topics I wanted to discuss. Hopefully I brought some information to you, the viewer. Make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Check out What the Chip Happened to get more information about the semiconductor space. Now, peace out.